certain with your future with Fidelity Life. It has been a long time dedicated partner of IMG that provides life insurance exclusively to its members with your future with Fidelity Life. In partnership with Everest Memorial Services of Fidelity Life that decides to provide its members exclusive access to its 24/7 memorial with protection services. In partnership with other beneficiary services, Fidelity Life shall apply that decides to provide its members exclusive access to its 24/7 memorial with protection services. At Fidelity Life, with our beneficiary services, first life that decides to provide its members exclusive for the at Fidelity Life, with our beneficiary services, first life that decides to provide its members at Fidelity Life, with our beneficiary services, first life that decides to provide its
We help you prepare for those years ahead, so you can keep doing what you love with the people that matter the most. Prepare for your future today. Kaiser International Health Group, the first name in healthcare.
Before IMG,
I was a civil engineer.
Accountant.
I was a plain housewife.
Before IMG, I used to be a doctor.
I was a maintenance crew.
factoring operator.
I'm a housewife.
I was an accounting clerk.
I am a medical doctor.
I am an engineer.
Before IMG, I used to be a teacher.
I was a government employee.
A production worker.
I am a bank employee.
Before IMG, I was an admin staff.
I was a seaman.
A design engineer.
I was a deli manager.
I was a telecom engineer.
Before IMG, I was quality director.
I used to be a doctor.
Production operator.
An industrial engineer.
IT home-based freelancer.
Before IMG, I was a manufacturing specialist.
I was an exporter. Admin officer.
I was a florist.
Before IMG, I was a service crew.
I'm great.
I am great.
I am
G.
I am great. IMG.
IMG.
IMG. I am great. I am
MG.
I am great.
I am great.
I am great.
Love comes in many forms. But in times of trial and uncertainty, nothing spells love better than security, peace of mind, and hope for the future. For over 50 years, we have helped people express this four-letter word. So you can face life head-on and savor every moment it brings. Manila Banker's Life. The best way to show your love.
Sir Eric Espina, good morning and welcome back. Open line, Sir Eric.
Welcome back to all of us.
Yes.
Maayong buntag and salamat sa inyo yung pagduyog permi sa atong programang Open Line. And then hashtag lang nato, no, partner, Open Line is open to all questions and open to all callers.
Yeah, so mga kauban, after our 2-week hiatus due to MyTV Cebu's blow-by-blow coverage of the recently concluded Palarong Pambansa 2024, we are now back here at our weekly news media forum, but to your screens this morning through our panelists. But before we introduce them to you one by one, we would like to first take this opportunity to thank our partners and sponsors. Daghan kaayong salamat to the International Marketing Group, or IMG, the Total Financial Solutions, Manila Bankers Assurance, the Life and Non-Life Company, and the best way to show your love. Thank you so much to Kaiser International Health Group Incorporated, Kaiser Medical Center, and De Los Reyes Optical. O kaninyong tanan mga kauban nga nananaw karon, pinaagi sa atong live streaming sa MyTV Cebu's Facebook page and YouTube channel. Maayong buntag kaninyong tanan, and please feel free to join us in the discussion by typing your comments, questions, or suggestions for our guest speakers nga ipaila-ila karon ni Sir Eric karong buntaga.
Okay, thank you very much, partner. And to my right, we have suki na ni nato siya, soon to be Police Colonel Gerard Pelare, spokesperson of PRO 7's regional director, and then atong sunod pod, to your left, partner, si Joy Tabal-Jimenez, Philippine Marathon Olympian and Mandaue City Sports Commission officer, and a familiar face, of course, our commissioner from Philippine Sports Commission, Hayco.
Good morning to all of our panelists, and thank you so much for gracing us with your time and presence this morning. I think, Sir Eric, we will be starting the discussion with Lieutenant Colonel Pelare. Sir Pelare, daghan kay salamat for always saying yes to Open Line News Media Forum. Sir, arita magsugod nimo kay fresh sad kaayo ang recent nga State of the Nation address, the third one ni President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Sa di pa nato tukion ang unod sa iyahang sona kagabi, mangumusta sa mi sa mga kalihukan nga gipahigayon in relation to his sona sa atong mga progressive groups dinhi sa Sugbo ug sa Rehiyon 7. Kamusta man kagahapon, sir?
Good morning, Ma'am Andy, Sir Eric, ug sa tanang nagtanaw aning inyong program, Open Line. Ang State of the Nation address ni President Bongbong Marcos Jr. kahapon in Cebu turned out to be a very safe and secured activity. We have seen minimal number of crimes committed all throughout Central Visayas. In Cebu, where we have seen some citizens making protests or rallies, we have noted that very safe and secured pod ang ilang pag-conduct sa ilang demonstration. They have marched from Fuente Osmeña to Colon area where they converge. And your police, under the leadership of Police Brigadier General Anthony Aberin, just allowed them to make or express their opinions, air their grievances on the occasion of the State of the Nation address. This is a constitutionally guaranteed right to express their freedom of expression. So we have just allowed them to do their thing in, of course, in accordance with the doctrine of maximum tolerance that we have been following in the PNP. It's good that they have made their protest and demonstration in a very safe manner. Walay mga criminal acts nga gicommit. And we have noted that at around 12:30, they have already peacefully dispersed. So all in all, our assessment is that we had a great or a very safe and secured zona as far as peace and security is concerned.
I'm going to jump right into the content of his speech last night, Sir Pelare. One of the highlights of President Marcos Jr.'s SONA last night was his stern and firm stance on effectively banning all pogos in the country. I remember during your last guesting, naghisgot man sa takabahin ni Ini, and you've made mention nga as so far sa inyong monitoring, wala pa mo'y nabantayan nga mga operations din sa Region 7. But what is the response of the PNP to heed this call of the President? If I may just read this line from his SONA: disguising as legitimate entities, their operations have ventured into illicit areas furthest from gaming, such as financial scamming, money laundering, prostitution, human trafficking, kidnapping, brutal torture, even murder. So, effective today, all pogos are banned. How are we intensifying our monitoring to respond to the President's call?
We take a cue on the very specific instruction of the President, no, to ban all pogos, no. Just to give you a background, in Cebu, previously we have monitored licenses, no, na ay mga pogo in previous times. We have at least recorded at least 5 pogos operating in past years, but they are inactive already. But our monitoring will not stop there. We will make sure that all pogos, if ever they are existing in Central Visayas, will cease operating, no, in consideration of the instruction of our President. No, we assure the public that Pro 7, under the leadership of Police Brigadier General Anthony Aberin, will make sure that there will be no pogo in Central Visayas. And of course, the main ingredient of this implementation is the support of the community. We would like to encourage everyone who have knowledge, no, who has knowledge of any operation like pogo. Can you please report it to us so that we can take action immediately? Again, the enforcement of the law is always a joint undertaking between the government and the community, and we cannot fully implement it without your help.
Lahisad nga gituki sa Presidente kagabi Sir Pelare was this fight against illegal drugs, and he specifically highlighted that under his administration, extermination is never an option. So, kitapod, how are we also responding to this call towards anti-violent drug operations sa PRO 7?
It has never been the policy of government to resort into extrajudicial means in implementing our anti-drug campaign. No? I would just like to highlight, upon the assumption of our President in 2022, up to now, ang atong na-confiscate nga illegal drugs sa Central Visayas alone would now total to 2.4 billion worth of illegal drugs. No? This will tell us our aggressiveness in the fight against illegal drugs. And this has also resulted sa pagka-aresto sa mga drug suspects nga ni total na almost 17,000 ang incarcerate, no, as a result of our aggressive, focused, highly analytical, and human right adherent illegal drug campaign. Ang gusto po namong i-highlight sa Police Regional Office 7 under the leadership of our Regional Director, Police Brigadier General Anthony Aberin, nakatala ta og conviction rate nga 99%. No? I would just like to give emphasis to this. No? Pag human og dakop sa mga drug personalities, what we do is we file cases. No? We go to courts to lodge complaints. Mu sumbong ta sa husgado. Kining sa gidaghanon sa atong gidagop, 99% ani ang nakonbikto. And most of these people, they availed of plea bargaining agreements, meaning to say, they have immediately pleaded guilty. No, niangkon dahil sila sa ilang sala. Why am I emphasizing this one? This will tell us nga ang atuang mga operations na agyoy ebidensya nga nakuha. No? This will negate katong sa una nga mga allegations nga ang atong operations are not done in accord with law, no? So imagine we have 99% conviction rate. These are the courts telling us that yes, the operations of the police are correct, are legitimate. Unya, I would like also to emphasize kining atong government approach against illegal drugs. We have this program called Barangay Drug Clearing Operations, no? Usa ni siya ka proseso nga ang usa ka barangay i-declare nga wala na gyoy affectation sa illegal drugs. As of now, out of the 3,003 barangays in Central Visayas, we have already cleared around 71% of these barangays. So this will tell us nga ang atuang pagkontra or pag-away sa illegal drugs, analytical kayo kay dili lang taga-base sa pila ka buok ang nadakpan, pila ka shabu ang na-confiscate, but pila ka barangay ang na-cleared from illegal drugs. And it is not only the PNP who will declare cleared ang usa ka barangay, but this is a joint effort by various agencies headed by PDEA. This will include PDEA, Department of Health, PNP, of course, no, and local government units. So this has how far have we gone in the fight against illegal drugs. And I would like to emphasize, no, in the words of the regional director, we could have not achieved this without the help of a very supportive community in Central Visayas.
Congratulations, Sir Pelare, and to the entire PNP organization. So far, man said yun, no, positive ang mga nahisgutan sa presidente kabahin ni ini. I think one thing lang nga akong na-pick up nga hagit niya ngadto sa kapulisan was that he specifically mentioned that the PNP should continue to earn the trust of the community. So how does PRO 7 address this issue of kung naamang gani nagpabilin distrust sa pipila ka mga communities towards law enforcement, especially in areas heavily impacted by drug activities?
Our edge here in Central Visayas, as far as Police Regional Office 7, is that we are enjoying enormous community support. No, I am not just saying this because I want to say it. Na may mga survey or mga research nga nag-ingon nga Central Visayas Police enjoys 85% trust rating sa katauhan sa Central Visayas. Of course, this is not chamba, no? This is a product of a conscious effort to gain the trust and confidence of the community. How do we do this? First, of course, is we make sure that we have integrity in the conduct of our police operations, no? Wala mag-tolerate ang ato ang Regional Director, Police Brigadier General Anthony Aberin sa mga deviations katong mga kinaraan nga pamaagi sa pagkandak og police operations. In fact, if you can recall, ang iya agyong mantra, no, kining gitawag og going back to basic. Simple kayo nga formula that we do our duty or we perform our duty in accordance with what is stated in the police operational procedure. Dihang dapita nakita nato ang pagkunhod sa mga abuses, ang pagkunhod sa mga violations of human rights. Unya nakita sad nato nga ang katawhan sa Central Visayas ning hinay-hinay og balik og trust sa ilang police. And this is a work in progress, no? Kahibalo mi nga naa pa gihapoy mga pipila nga kinahanglan namong i-improve kay sa kadaghang pulis sa Central Visayas, Ma'am Andy ug Sir Eric, di man punta ka-assure na 24/7 makabantay ta. But any misdeed being committed by any member of Police Regional Office 7.
Thank you very much. Kwan, basically my general questions will be about the rally, the pogo, the drugs, and the update on the new region. No? Firstly, when it comes to sa rally, para lang masabta nato, nanyay mga nangutana, is effigy burning part of freedom of expression or not? And then are there laws that actually govern the limitations and the exercise of this kind of expression?
There is a specific law, no, na ibalaod nga nag-govern sa public assembly, no, kining Batas Pambansa 880 or the Public Assembly Act. No, diri sa ani nga balaod gikinahanglan nga before ka maka-conduct og protest, rallies and demonstrations in a public place, you need to secure a permit. There are exemptions, kini ang gitawag og Freedom Park. For example, if you conduct your demonstrations in a Freedom Park, you don't need a permit. Or in a private place, you don't need a permit. This is the prevailing law. But your Police Regional Office 7 is also balancing it out with the constitutional provision that says everyone has the freedom to express their opinion. Unya, sa PNP pod, naapon may doctrine nga gitawag og maximum tolerance. So, kanang inyong makita nga mga mag-rally, mag-protest, we just allow them because it is their right under the Constitution to express their opinion. But, the 𝗡𝗲𝗄𝗆 is this, they should not commit any violation of law. For example, mangguba silang property, no? Maghimo sila og mga butang nga makadaot sa laing tawo. That's the time that we enter. Now, it is a balancing act for us in the PNP nga ma-enforce na mo ang BP 880, but at the same time, we will not also violate their right to express their opinion. Ang position pod sa atong Regional Director ani sir is just, so long as these rallyists will not commit a crime in the process, then we will just allow them by virtue of maximum tolerance.
Katong sa effigy burning, because that became an issue in Manila, murag klaro man kayo, tatawang giingon sa PNP, kaning murag ginadili ang effigy burning. So, unsa magyoy atong position ini og unsay kalapasan ang nabuhat kung mag-effigy burning?
The effigy is their property, right? Ila ang property. So, you cannot allege or you cannot complain of malicious mischief, no? Kay mao man ay balaod nga mangdaot kag propiedad. Pero you can discuss or we can debate on the possibility that they have violated an environmental law. Okay. Kining gitawag nato og makadaot sa hangin nga balaod. I think it's Republic Act 9003 if I'm not mistaken, no? But we have not come up to this point right now. Of course, we will study the possibility nga pupuydi ba ta maka-file og kaso aning dapita, no, or aning nga balaod. Again, ang among emphasis is that your Police Regional Office 7 respects the freedom of expression, and so long as there are no violations of law that are committed, we will just allow them, no. And makita sad nato Sir Eric, no, in the past or in the history of demonstrations in Cebu, they have been very peaceful, yes, no, and they do not stay on the ground for many hours, no. In fact, last SONA at around 12:30, we have monitored them to have peacefully dispersed already. So that is the situation yesterday, and that is the position of our regional director.
And then we move to Pogos. We'd like to find out, you mentioned that there were 5 licensed Pogos. Wala mo'y na matikdan sa una nga they could have nilikoy ba? Legal nga illegal usahay, illegal sa buntag, illegal sa gabi. That's my first question. And then the second question, with the banning of Pogos, posible bang magtago na ni sila o gitawag sa in English magsabrosa kaning mga legal nga mga Pogos?
Diha tay dakop sa Lapu-Lapu, sir, in coordination with CIGG. If I'm not mistaken, it's 2019 or earlier. It was because Pogo was just used as a front for some illegal activities. No, so it's possible really na ay licensed Pogo in the past that are actually operating mga illegal activities. Correct. And that is the focus of police operations in previous job sa Police Regional Office 7 is just to study the possibility nga ang among mobile forces, can it be transferred, no? Will it be practical to transfer some portion of our mobile forces, sir, to the newly created NIR? So it is a work in progress unya. I think, sir, dili na madugay nga ma-create na gyud tong bag-o nga Police Regional Office, no? We are just studying it thoroughly kung unsaon na mo pag-streamline ang mga tao.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sir Pelare. Sir, one last issue na lang before we move on to the next speaker. Sir, sa ubang mga tunghaan, nagsugod na ang pagbukas sa school year 2024 to 2025. But however, coming pa sa itong mga private schools, public schools rather, sir, no? So, unsa to ang mga pagpangandam sa security measures alang niini?
First, we have conducted an inventory, no? Pila ka eskwelahan ang Central Visayas. We came up with there are 3,854 schools which will be opened, no? Most of these are public schools. Around 600 are private school, no? Mag-open sila anytime soon. I think it will start July 29. So, as a background, kining pag-open sa schools, no? We take this very seriously. Because the PNP would like to make sure nga kining atong mga estudyante they are safe in their studies. So we start it when it opened. Mabantayan ninyo, mo-appeal mi og brigada eskwela, maglimpyo sa eskwelahan, makig-meeting sa PTA because we really take it very seriously as our function to make sure that safe ang atong mga schools. During the opening, we will be establishing public or police assistance desk in all schools, no? Ang tanang eskwelahan butangan nato og PADS, no? Public police assistance desk, to make sure nga kung naay security concern, naadayoy maduulan ang atong mga ginikanan o atong mga students or pupils pa ba tawag karon, no? And aside from that, gi-instrukan pod sa atong Regional Director, Police Brigadier General Anthony Aberin, ang tanang station commanders nga mo visit gyud sa PTA para mo makigmeet, no? Wala pa nagsugod, makigmeet sila sa Parents Teachers Association, and we will also be deploying foot patrols, mobile patrols in all schools just to make sure that walay mga security issues during the opening and all throughout the school year. Again, ang among gustong ihangyo is for the community to help your police. We cannot do our security duties without the assistance of the community. So, kung naamoy mamatikdan nga mga suspitsado nga tao, suspicious persons, or mga incident nga gikinahanglan og police assistance, please feel free to immediately report it to the police.
Thank you very much, Sir Pelare. Daghan kayong salamat sa imong mga updates. We will leave the rest of the questions to our friends from the PNP beat later on once we open the floor for questions. But ari na sad ta sa lain nga topic, Sir Eric, nisgutan naman gyud nato no ang pagbukas sa klase sa mga tunghaan karong school year. Let's also talk about the recent athletic display of skills sa ato ang mga young athletes din sa nasod. Thank you so much for joining us. It is such a great honor, PSC Commissioner Edward Hayco, and of course, the pride of Cebu. Sus, kilig ko nga nakatapad og Olympian karong buntaga, Sir Eric. So, Mary Joy Tabal. Let's start with Sir Hayco. Sir Hayco, before we talk about probably the lessons learned or points for improvement sa nahitabo nga Palarong Pambansa 2024. Kagabi isad no, I think twice na mention ni President Marcos ang Cebu sa iyang zona. One was when he talked about the energization of the Visayas grid, and the other one was when he congratulated Cebu and Marikina and DepEd for the successful hosting of the Palarong Pambansa. So far, Sir Edward, unsa may mga highlights or standout performances nga imong nakita sa niaging palaro, and how did we compare to the previous years?
Hello. Yes. Okay na. Good morning to everyone. I'm Andrea, Sir Eric, Lieutenant Colonel Gerard. Nice to meet you. Very comprehensive information. And dear friend Joy Tabal, the highlights with regards to the Palaro, the highlights and one of the most probably emotional in terms of dance sporters, emotional and milestone of dance sport and Cebu, or rather Cebu and dance sport, synonymous. Cebu and dance sport is kind of synonymous. Was for the president to mention that Cebu is the bedrock of dance sport. And for the president to declare Cebu as the dance sport capital of the Philippines, that was like a milestone. And he even mentioned that the significance of dance sport in Palaro, it's a medal count. Before, dance sport was just, how do you call that, a demo sport. Just like weightlifting. And hope all of you will help lobby. We're also lobbying weightlifting to be a medal sport. I think as of now, weightlifting is not yet part of, is not even yet a demo sport of Palaro. And yet, that is where our Olympic medal came from, weightlifting. So going back to dance sport, first, the milestone was announcement of the president. The second was out of 13 gold medals that Cebu City won in Palaro, 13 gold medals, 9 came from dance sport. And 1 came from gymnastics, which was a very, something very significant for us because public school for the last so many years never won a medal in gymnastics in Palaro. And for the first time, I think we should all celebrate that gymnastics, one of the most challenging and artistic sport in the Olympics, is now going to be one of the centerpiece of Cebu gymnastics. And please try to discover gymnastics in Labangon Elementary School. We place strategically Gymnastics Academy of Cebu inside a public school, one of the biggest in Cebu, Labangon. And strategically, Sir Eric, Labangon is surrounded by 𝗙𝗲𝗄𝘀, Punta Princesa, and so many other barangay. Just 5-10 minutes walk. So that is something that all of you would like to be watching. And you have another question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. Go on, sir. Congratulations on these achievements. But so far, sir, in terms of areas for improvement or lessons learned sa nahitabong Palarong Pambansa, if you could pinpoint on how we can further improve the next round of competition.
Well, the next Palaro might be 30 years from now.
Not in Cebu, yung pasabot.
So, what we can learn from is that, of course, organizing an event is challenging. You can never have 100% airtight, when it comes to organizing. There will always be flaws. So, of course, we learn from the flaws, but we also celebrate from the success of Palaro. No, you can never have zero challenges. There will always be something that will crop up. And if you get 90-95% success rate, we should celebrate the success instead of the 5%. Of course, there's a few issues. Okay na. Even if it's big. I was talking to John and the other girls there. Yes, the oval is the centerpiece of any event, of any sporting event, the oval. But if you dissect, you can even have no oval, track oval, if you want an honest-to-goodness, genuine grassroots program. Example, the runners from Kenya are always Olympic gold medalists, right? You check. Olympic medalists, they run without shoes during the Olympics. Yes,
Last bukid sila.
Kenya. Their objective, the Kenyan runners, are they just want athletics running as their way out of poverty. If you study where those gold medalist Kenyan runners come from, they come from a place like 𝗡𝗲𝗄𝗆, where Joy comes from, high altitude, no track oval, they run on a dirt oval, and that's where they win the gold medal in the Olympics. So I think that's an insight for everyone, that the facilities might be misleading. It's not the facilities. The one that brings out the best in athletes are the athlete itself, the coaches and the sports leaders, the LGU, the parents, etc. It's a complete, I was mentioning to John, it's called an adobo recipe. If you complete this adobo recipe, the sport, the association, the parents, and all of these ingredients put together, cook it well, then you produce an Olympian like Joy Tabal.
But ko answer, these flaws also, sir, also had certain impacts on the results of the games, especially with regards to the nullifying of 11 records. Yun sa nato pag-console sa mga affected athletes, sir?
Oh, yeah, that's a very, you cannot just say, oh, okay lang na, try next year.
Yes, yes.
Or it's not as easy as that, no?
With your future with Fidelity
I
Life.
really,
It has been a long time dedicated
my
partner
tongue are
of
tied.
IMG
Because there's no easy way, like,
exclusively to its members to
example,
meet
this
the
is not
risk
really the
protection
same, no? But
needs.
if someone,
In partnership,
if one of your friends die and you meet the parents, you cannot tell him, oh, okay lang na, you know? Sometimes you just have to be there for them. You just have to be silent, but they know you're around and cheering for them. That's probably my answer. Like, there's really no, maybe what we can do in a positive way is for the National Academy of Sports to I'm asking Joy, sa National Sports, National Academy of Sports, or the LGU, or the National Sports Association to identify who these 11 athletes are. I think that's more positive. Who these 11, and give me the names if you can. I'll find a way to make the National Sports Association get in touch with them, and we'll find a way for them to have more attention to them. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise. A failure can be turned into
so probably they can be,
there will be more attention on them. The sympathy can draw attention and nurture them. In fact, one of the salient feature of Palaro this year, if you noticed, it's not just based on region. It's now, the medal count is based, di ba, Dale, Calvin? It's now based also by city, division, and province. We push this very hard. We lobbied this. We personally lobbied this. And what's the significance of this? It's the answer to your question. If an LGU, like Cebu example, oh, Region 7 won 23 medals, the mayor or the governor of any region cannot relate. But now, if you say, oh, the city of Iloilo got 10 gold medals, mayor. Wow, our city won 10 gold medals. That attention, they can relate more because it's city-based, province-based, not region-based. The athlete actually loses their identity when it's region-based. So you feel the significance of that little change,
The
but
proximity.
big effect.
Yeah.
So that's my answer to your question also.
Thank you, sir. Sir, do you have questions for
Yes,
Sir
yes.
Hayco before I move on to the Paris Olympics?
Oo, kaning lessons learned from the previous palaro, because it's a question of always perfecting the entire process. So what would be some of the lessons that you would like to share with us in terms of best practices for the next palaro that should be adopted?
Oh, actually, I was actually quite personally impressed with how it was handled. There were some management problems. I don't have to mention it anymore. It's personality problems, etc. But that's part of organizing. Dance sport, we organize every year, Sir Eric, a national and international competition. We have even looks small, but it's actually very big for a dance sport, for a single sport. Now we have 2,000 dance sport athletes coming to Cebu, dancing on 2 floors for 3 days. I always forewarned our organizers. We are a group of 10. I said, expect each of you will start shouting at each other. Because when it's nearing the event, your tension, your anxiety builds up, and you sometimes lose control, and that's what happens. And that's what always happens in an event. Even Sinulog, I'm also part of Sinulog. So we just have to remind them and warn them, and it's part and parcel of organizing an event. People just go on flip.
Being the recognized figure for dance sport, I've heard this many times from other sportsmen. There are certain sports where Filipinos are inclined and they are better. Like dance sport, I'm sure we will really do well, no? What other sports do you think that we should be focusing on in terms of being able to get a medal tally?
Thank you very much for that question, because it leads me to a very significant. I just hope it's going to be a milestone for Cebu, historic milestone. Weightlifting. Very few people know about this, that we have 2 weightlifters one from my I'm getting goose pimple. I'm really getting goose pimple over. Two Olympians, one from 𝗏𝗏𝗄𝗏 and one from Pasil. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is Elrin Ando. Pasil is 𝗙𝗶𝗏 Sinisa. The significant thing here, Sir Eric, is they were homegrown by our grassroots program in Cebu City. Our grassroots program in Cebu City is now a national template. We're using the program we did in Cebu. We're replicating it all over the 17 regions of the Philippines, and I think that's something that Cebu can be proud of. It is now a roadmap for Philippine grassroots initiative. What's so important? From nothing, our equipment is very limited. If you I invite you to go to 𝗏𝗏𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗏, you go inside, passing through a lot of dogs that will bite you, etc., and a lot of poo around. You reach the end of 𝗏𝗏𝗏 beside the abandoned cemetery of Ludo. Yes. There we have a pocket gym. pocket gym, I think easily maybe 100 little kids starting from 8 years old or even younger. That's where 𝗟𝗏𝗄𝘀 comes from. That's where 𝗟𝗏𝗄𝘀 comes from. And look at their equipment. It's nothing sophisticated. And we were able to produce the program in Cebu. It's a program of Cebu City. We were able to produce an Olympian. Wow. Same in Pasil. Grassroots. Ato na lang ni, we're hoping and praying makamedal silang duha. Wow. Kung makamedal, bisag bronze, the significance is that is the first ever Olympic medal for Cebu. Wow. First ever. So, mangampo lang jud ta nga makakuan sila medal.
Sir, sa di pa ta mo delve deeper into the Paris Olympics, mangutana sad ko ni Ma'am Mary Joy Tabal-Jimenez sa recently concluded Palarong Pambansa. Were there any standout performances from Cebu's athletes that got your attention for this year? And how does it feel to be an Olympian and finally hosting again the Palaro in your own hometown?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you nga nako din hikaron no. Regarding the Palaro, I just want to share katong gipautanan ninyo kay Sir Ed unsay pinaka-highlight. For me, ang pinaka-most rewarding is having the Palaro here in Cebu. Like panalagsaon ra kaayo na. I was a Palaro product man sad no, participated it once only. And getting a medal in the Palaro, murag ma-feel nimo nga ikaw na gid ang pinaka depende sa imong sport. So kung sa running, mura ba og Olympic na nato for an elementary and secondary. So it's not about the siguro no perfect mangyod in everything pag-organize and all, but it's more on having it here in Cebu. Mapakita nato sa kadaghanan, especially here sa tuang lugar, kung unsa na ang Palarong Pambansa. Having all the best of the best athletes competing here in Cebu, maka-proud kayo kay lahi ra gyud ang impact nga mahatag sa Palarong Pambansa to an athlete kay you would always remember it maskin asa imong ma-achieve ba. Like for me as a former Olympian, moana gid ko nga ako sad proud product gid ko anang Palarong Pambansa. Without Palarong Pambansa, I don't know makaabot basad ko og Olympics. So it's a stepping stone ba, and it's like ang gingon ni Sir Edward ganiha, it's not merely about the facilities or unsa man. It's coming from the athlete gyud kay ako if I want to share my experience, inana, I don't have the spike shoes as a sprinter competing for the Palarong Pambansa way back 2002. So I did not have that pinaka-importante nga mura ba og as a sprinter you must have that kay mura bag it's an advantage for you nga siguro okay ra if long distance magtiniil ka, but it's for sprinting dako kayog disadvantage without the spikes. So ingon ana, putting it as sa athlete side, more on you focus more on yourselves, not focusing on the distractions gyud outside no nga. Pag makita nimo hala, there's a tendency nga kulang ang measurement. As an athlete, you have to put in mind na I have to perform gihapon maskin pa og unsay mga kulang no. You cannot murabag dili focus on what you can control as an athlete, perform as an athlete. Naay mas tao responsible for that, about that. So ako having the Palaro is a good good avenue for us athletes, for Cebu, for the entire Cebu nga maka-inspire ta og generations of athletes to compete here, to represent country, one of the stepping stone for us to reach for the Olympics. And ako mapasalamaton sad ko nga Mandaue City is one of the proud partner for Palarong Pambansa. Maskin Arnis event lang amo ang gi-handle sa Mandaue City. But with the leadership of Mayor Jonas and the rest of the Mandaue City Councils, we hosted the Arnis event successfully. Grabe ang support sa Mandaue, grabe ang support ni Mayor. And yes, nindot ang among output and makahappy nga maskin isa lang among event, but it made Mandaue City kanang aware of the Palarong Pambansa ba. And then regarding the Olympics, as a former or a proud product of Philippine pod to representing the country in the biggest sporting stage, I want to convey my heartfelt wishes to all athletes representing the country for the Paris Olympics. And maka-proud, yeah, you are not just competing for yourselves, but for the entire Filipino nation. Just do what a Filipino can do, like wave the Philippine flag and inspire more generations to be in the Olympics.
Sa niaging palaro, ma'am, do na ba standout athlete nga ni catch mong attention nga na-impress gyud ka nga believe ko aning estudyante da?
To highlight, it's since running man ko, si Asia, no? Kay duhagid ka gold iyahang gihatag addition for the Palarong Pambansa. Yes, the first gold medal, and dili lang usa duhagid ka medal iyahang gihatag sa Cebu for like giving that medal. It's not just about giving the 2 medals sa running, but it's more on wala mabehind ang running ba. So good thing nga na si Asia gihapon giving medals for long distance running is just giving us sa country nga wagid pauwahipod ang running sa mga disciplines nga naata. So running is the most cheapest sports nga naata. You don't need to have right away nga nagi kay shoes. Asa ka modagan, not necessarily you have to have the track oval and all. You can run actually. So we can focus on that kay wala kayo ta equipments na we need to prepare good. So, si Asia, congratulations.
Go ahead, please. Yeah, you mentioned, I'd like to reiterate what Joy mentioned. No? You said don't need shoes, don't need track oval, etc. You know, everybody, murag wa pa man mo na tao. You know Michael Kion, no?
Yes, yes.
Kanang ni, yes, murag.
Bagyo.
Parihatag edad.
Gintong alay.
Ang kanang wa ni yes, murag pwede para AIDS mo, anak na mo, anak. So, do you know Michael Kion?
Yes, the man behind the Gintong
Okay, the man behind Gintong Alay and 𝗙𝗲𝗍𝗂𝗧, the legend. Actually, when Michael Kion was a guest speaker of the Philippine Association of Sports Writer, he said, if 𝗙𝗲𝗍 ran in the LA Olympics or something, she would have made silver or gold. Why? Because she clocked time better than the Singaporean or something. So 𝗙𝗲𝗍 would have won had she had she joined that LA Olympics. So the man behind 𝗙𝗲𝗍𝗂𝗧 said something very similar to Joy. When he was here in Palaro, and he called Ed, my athletes need to practice. The track, they cannot practice in the track oval. I said, oh, okay, Mayor, I'll find a track oval for you. No need track oval, no need rubber. I even prefer dirt. I said, what? Your athletes will practice on dirt? Yes, because track oval is a Mercedes. If they know how to drive an ordinary car, when they drive a Mercedes, it will run faster than the others. I said, wow, from a person who created 𝗙𝗲𝗍𝗂𝗧 said, no, my athletes, I want them to practice on dirt or ordinary grass, not rubber. So food for thought, huh? Now, a second reaction, just to go back to your question, what were the milestones of the message of the President during Palaro? One thing he said that reverberated in my mind, in our minds, should be that Palaro is a stepping stone to the Olympics. Because most, if not all athletes, Palaro is the end. Can I borrow a shirt that was given out? One shirt, ma'am. Yeah. I think even if you're not sports writers, please try to push this idea. Thank you po. Thank you, sir. Try to push this idea. Thank you. This is the T-shirt that we're giving away to sports leaders. We've been to 12 regions in the country already. We are reformatting the minds of sports leaders. If you read the mantra, it's where your journey to the Olympics begin. That's the National Grassroots Initiative. Thank you, Joy. So, that's why it was goose pimples for me again when the President said, Palaro should not be the end, but the stepping stone of every athlete to the Olympics. So, this is another very, I hope it will start from Cebu, that we should bid for the Olympics in 2040. Si Ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Edward, and then Olympian Mary Joy Tabal. I have two questions. No, either one of you can answer it. Number one, you mentioned about Michael Keon. Basig ang next Palaro will be actually in Ilocos. That's what I'm muna hearing na ko, no? And then number two, my question is this. I got to talk to Congressman Bambol Tolentino, and he's putting up a museum for sports. So, siguro basig sa Cebu, pwede ta magbutang, or ang mga jersey ni Olympian Mary Joy, pwede ibutang dito sa museum. How do you think that would go? And number two, do you think our niche should be part of the Olympics? Mura na siya.
Thank you for the question. The hallway of the corridor sa Cebu City Sports Center, no? That will be turned into a hallway of the legends, no? Slowly, it will be cluttered with memorabilias. The shoes of Mary Joy, and etc. So, it's a maturing process. Hinay-hinayan lang, no? So that I was even telling them, you just hang the shoes of whoever on the ceiling, para it will be like when you enter, it's like a home. Right? Imong balay ba? Bitay imong sapatos, imong sanina. It's like you go back into time. And your second question, Sir Eric, is Arnis. It's just like how we lobbied dance sport and weightlifting, no? It took us 5-7 years. So dance sport, hopefully will be demo sports. It was a demo sport like 8 years ago or 12 years ago. But it has to be continuously lobbied. So going back to Arnis, to be candid, it's still a long process, but it's not impossible. And the starting point to lobby it is the Southeast Asians, because Arnis, that's where we are, no? We should not claim Arnis to be just anymore Cebu. It should be Southeast Asian, so that Southeast Asian countries can lobby. And going back to what I stated kanina, we should bid
For the Olympics.
for the 2040 Olympics, no matter how impossible it seems to be. So what? So what if we can't make it? At least we tried. We dreamed and we tried. And this is the answer to your question, Sir Eric. Then we can lobby the Arnis. Even if it takes us 16 years, 2040, then Arnis, we bid for the Olympics because Arnis will be one of the games. Amen. Diba?
But sir, going back to the Paris Olympics that's kicking off this Friday, have you kept in touch with our Cebu athletes? You've made mention of Ando Seniza. We also have another judoka from Kiyomi Watanabe. Kamusta sila, sir, dito? And so far, how are they receiving support overall in terms of mental, emotional support para sa ilahang competition?
It's a strategy that we're employing, and actually we sent them 3 weeks ago. If you notice, they were sent off 3 weeks ago because we want them to be acclimatized, and diba? Acclimatized, and their sleep will be Paris scheduled, na sync to the Paris day, Paris time zone. And that's one. The second one is they are in Metz. That's a place where we are training them. They're actually for 1 month they're in Paris undergoing training. So let's hope that 28 will perform. But actually, will 22 or 28? So 28 tanan.
28.
Yeah, including the
Paralympics. Yeah.
So let's hope with this strategy they will perform better, and thanks to Bumble, and all the NSA. This is, I think, one of the biggest delegation. So what is the significance of being a biggest delegation? We get to if you get to qualify for the Olympics, that's already a big deal.
Yeah.
Imagine you're qualified to be part of Olympics and you're just 28. And Olympics is how many? Maybe 15,000 or what? 15,000 of the best athletes in the world. No mention lang with sports. We're even sa qualifying, we were even 36 or 35. Layo pa kayo. And these people qualified to be, I think, top 6 or something. So that's why, it's quite an achievement for those 28, even for the para. Para is actually those who won in the Asian Games, Para-Asian Games, also for the regular athletes. That's already almost like the Olympics. Ang kuwang na lang, remember, appeal ng China. China is included in Asian Games. Ang kuwang na lang is the US and a few countries in Europe. So Asian Games is almost in the same level as difficult as the Olympics. And now we have 28 in the Paris. Wow, that's an achievement.
All right, sige. So I think we'll leave the rest of the sports question to our full force nga sports writers. Daghang salamat for joining us in this Open Line News Media Forum. Let's move on to our final panelist for this morning's episode. We have Ms. Mae Enclona Henderson. She's the director of the Vagina Monologues here in Cebu and as well as from 𝗡𝗲𝗄𝘀. Hi, Miss Sarah. Can you tell us all about the show that's happening this Saturday?
This Sunday, yes.
Oh, Sunday day. Sorry.
Yeah, so may buntag kanatong tanan. For many of you, this isn't the first time that you've heard of the Vagina Monologues. So we've been doing this as an annual play. However, the last time we've done this was in 2020, and which was just right before the lockdown. No? And finally, we are back. We've been doing the Vagina Monologues because we are using theater as a tool for women empowerment. So we have actors and other professionals, meaning non-actors, performing in the Vagina Monologues, which was a play written by activist, actress, and playwright Eve Ensler, who is now known as V. So I think if we can start, siguro, with the reason why this was conceived. Well, it started out as an interview. Well, over 300 women were interviewed. And basically, the main questions were, if your vagina got dressed, what would it wear? If your vagina could talk, what would it say? You know, things like that. And the women had to answer these questions. And from these interviews, a play was created. Kana. And for us, this is really, it's been over 20 years since we've been doing this as an annual play. And we started out with just campaigning for the fact that we should be able to say the word vagina. It is just like any other part of the body. We can say the hand, the leg, the eyes, you know. And so it should be easy for us to say the word vagina. It's not a bad word. Mo nang pirmi namong gamiton as a way to introduce to people. Because for many, once ang bata musulti og word nga vagina and other words that would mean vagina, you would actually tell them or correct them and say, hey, that's a bad word. And so for a child to think nga vagina is a bad word and you have one, then that means maybe I'm a bad person. Kaya nga nung naamang ko vagina, you know? So we started with that form of education. However, when we go through the different stories that are shared in the Vagina Monologues, you would realize that there are so many topics and stories that are still relevant today, you know, and it's relevant in various cultures. The theme of women empowerment, the theme of violence against women, and our fight to end violence against women is a universal one. It's still happening, unfortunately and sadly. And so women and girls continue to fight. And we would like to hope that it would be an entire community, a city, and the entire world that would really rally behind our rights and would help us really find that end to violence. So nga na ta magsugod, Andy.
Ms. Sar, I think the effects of the pandemic started to mellow down in around 2022, 2023. Nganong 2024 man ang inyong gipili nga ibalik si TVM here in Cebu?
Actually, wala ta nagpili nga 2024 ta mo balik.
Okay.
Nahimo lang siya nga mao na ni siya ang available. Mao ni ang time nagihatagan ta og license, no? Kay dili man ta pwede nga mo perform ra nga wala tay lisensya. So gihatagan ta or gitugutan ta sa playwright og sa iyang through her licensing agent nga pwede na ta mo perform balik.
Can you also share with the audience, Ms. Sarah, the fundraising of this, the fundraising goals of TVM?
Okay, so aside from, of course, promoting the vision and the mission of ending violence against women and girls, for 𝗡𝗲𝗄𝗀, we have created a program which is called Fight Like a Girl. And our intention is really to teach that a fight is not just physical, it's also mental, educational. So in the past, we have created workshops and programs that would deal with abused and exploited women and children. In fact, our first program was actually more of like a diversion program targeting survivors of rape and sexual assault, and they were taught kanang self-defense, no? So ang self-defense ato nga aspect kay mura na to siya last nga part because they've gone through therapy, so the psychosocial intervention, and then we were preparing them to integrate back to society, to be able to go back to school or to be able to go back and search for a job. So for this year, what we're trying to do is to be able to push for more workshops and programs that would allow us to reach out to the vulnerable and the marginalized members of our society. And hopefully we would be able to educate not just women and girls, but men and boys as well to become our allies in ending violence.
What's the central message that you'd like to leave audiences with after watching the show? And why do you think it's important for us to continue in having conversations such as what the Vagina Monologues is relaying?
Okay, when you watch the Vagina Monologues, you know, you would be able to think about the women in your lives. And if you're a woman, you would be able to reflect upon your own experiences. And for that experience in the theater, you know, that's going to be 2 hours of listening to various stories. I would like to hope that you would be able to pick up and see how you can be a part of a campaign that's the biggest aim is really peace and, you know, and cooperation amongst everyone. And so that means an end to violence. I mean, violence comes in various forms. It's not just physical. It happens in homes, and in fact, for many children, their perpetrators are really in their own homes, and which are supposed to be considered as a safe place. Now, if ang atong balay, no, ang atong gipuy-an nga kada adlaw natong adtuan, can't provide us that safety, it's like what more outside? So we hope that when you watch, you know, you have that experience of really wanting to be part of the movement to end violence against women and girls, because an end to violence against women and girls is actually an end to violence, period. And kana siya. It cannot just happen with us women and children or, you know, girls just doing. It's everyone's, everyone is supposed to be an ally, and we all have to do something about it. And I think one of the things that I'd also like to add, I mean, for us, you know, artists or actors and those in the creative industry, we have chosen this, for us it's theater, as a way to campaign against, you know, against violence against women and children, because this is what we know best. And so each one of us, we have been gifted with a talent, with a skill, and if you're able to use that to promote the common good, to always promote a good message, then you would have done so much in this world.
Thank you very much, Ma'am. I'd like to ask you, please teach us men to contextualize the advocacy. Can we say it? I mean, or is it just between women?
Unsa may imong masay, sir? What do you mean? Can you say the word vagina?
Yes, yes.
Yes, as much as women are allowed to say the word penis, I think. You know?
Para lang maklaro, ma'am, kay base niya,
yes.
It might be taken in
I think a lot of it,
our culture.
It's also more about how we say it, when we say it, you know? Is it said to disrespect someone, for example? Then that cannot be, you know? There have been so many words that have been used against, let's say, women and even our LGBTQ community. I'll probably share one of the pieces in the Vagina Monologues, which is, it's about a word that has been used against women. Okay. The word is cunt. Okay? C-U-N-T. Now, in so many on-air broadcasts, they would censor that because, bastos na siya. Di na siya pwede sulti yun. But in fact, the origin of the word cunt is queen or, lawgiver of the land. It's, so it's from the word kunta. But nagkadugay na sigig change ang gamit sa word, no? Ang cunt, instead of someone revered, someone who's respected, nahimo na siyang kanang pambastos sa usa ka tawo. So in many movies or Western films, you would hear it said against someone, whether a man or a woman, as a way to insult them and disrespect them. So, kana siya, sir, siguro?
Ma'am, usa pa may mga word nga insulting, as men, we should not be saying it. Aside from what,
as men, what can we not say? Insulting? I think it's really a lot of what are these words used, in our vocabulary right now. I think murag ang mas timely siguro natong mastoryahan kung unsay nahitabo nato gahapon, no? I think it's also it's not just towards women, or it can be towards men and towards our LGBTQ members. When you say something to make them feel degraded, to make them feel like they're not worthy as humans, that is something that we should avoid. For example, ngano kung gay ka, pwede man ka mo tawag sa imong kauban nga bayot. Pero kung dili ka gay, ayaw sulti ana, It's I think it's like bayota ka inana, no? And sometimes people just use it to say you're not man enough, you're coward, you are weak. And so we actually look into the reason behind why we say these words. Okay? When we call out someone, nganong kaya ba nimo, bayuta ba nimo? Diba? There are parents, teachers who would actually, what's the term? Embarrass, humiliate a student for being feminine, and yet when they grow older, they would be insulted again for not being feminine enough. So we ask ourselves, what is our murag asa man tapadong when it comes to respecting other people, respecting our members of the community? Is there really a requirement? Is there really a physical, for example, a physical requirement before we can consider them according to their preferred, let's say, pronouns, or their what they consider as their sexual orientation and gender identity? I think that's also a question sa ato ang pagkatao. Kung ngano man nga mamili man ta kung kinsa atong respetahan. Dili ba nga ang respect should be given to everyone first? And we would have to be more open and more accepting. Tolerance is no longer accepted. I think we have to go beyond that. We have to show more empathy. We have to show more compassion. We have to be more understanding. And if we are more educated, and if we really want our community to be empowered, then we have to start doing the work from our own selves. Dili ta maghuwat nga ang uban pa ang naay masulti, no? And kana laging musakay because naanay mga kanang like magbinastos, no? Naay mo sugod og binastos, okay man di ay kay siya gani makasulti man og inana, so musakay sad ta. No? So I think it's very important, hopefully for the media, our friends in the media, and those who hold really important and influential positions to actually promote that kindness. It doesn't really cost much. For some, it comes so naturally. For others, it takes an effort. But in the end, we are able to give it and be it. And I just hope that we can have a kinder and better Cebu.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sarah. Sir Edward would like to react to
Yes,
what
sir.
you just said.
Thank you, Ma'am Andy. Just for context, I have three girls and one daughter.
3 girls and 1 daughter.
Yeah, so 4. And I have 2 granddaughters. Of course, I don't look like a grandfather. Yeah,
Wala pa. Oo.
So, but Ma'am Sarah, this is my reaction. Yeah, I heard about Vagina Monologue, the V monologue, no? This is my reaction lang. I totally agree with your advocacy, and it has become a movement, a world movement, and it's good, very good. Just a little concern that, because again, I have 4 daughters, no? My preference is when you say that V word, even the P word, there is a certain sense of reverence and respect and privacy. That's just my concern. But because if you project it like, oh, so what if we say vagina? There's nothing wrong with it. But it creates a culture that saying it is, it's as ordinary as, hey, you're beautiful. It's like, hey, your vagina is no, that's just my reaction. So that's a concern that it might create a different culture that it's really all right if you, very Western, just as common as the F word. I still want a reverence and a bit of conservativeness, reservation, very as Asian culture. And that's my concern, and I hope it will not create a very overly Western reaction, develop an overly Western culture in our Asian setting.
So that's actually, I will react to that also, sir. That's very good that you're concerned, okay? And of course, we'd like to be able to talk about the vagina with reverence and with much respect. And in fact, if we talk about childbirth, we would probably question the fact that why are we not awed by vaginas, but just the fact that it is able to give life, to be like a tunnel, to be the vessel of life. And if we just think about that, then everyone's thought of the vagina would be staying, would be away from the fact that it's a sexual thing. So ang ako siguro, sir, there's also a reason why we are promoting the idea of being able to say the word is because it has been shown in reports and studies that one of the reasons, I'm saying one of the reasons, why abuse happens is because the victims are unable to talk about it.
Right.
The victims are unable to mention the word vagina. And so they think that it should be something that they keep. And so anything that happens around it, I mean, I can understand when we're talking about a sexual, like something to do with relationship, that's supposed to be private. You don't share that with anyone. However, there's also the other aspect wherein our children, our young kids, are unable to share what's happened to them. Even older women, or adults, young adults, are unable to share because they cannot talk about it. They have been taught not to say the word, not to discuss anything that happens to it. And so even if they've already been violated, they do not feel like it's going to be helpful for them to go to the police. No, sir, see, Sir
Sir
here.
Pelare.
Yes, Sir Pelare. To go to the police, ask for help because there's already the shame factor.
Maybe you can give the example of this girl who was molested by her uncle. And dugay siya nahibawaan because she can only say that my uncle was touching my cookie because she was raised to believe that you're not allowed to say the word. So even if iyan ang report sa iyang teacher, they didn't know that it was actually already a form of sexual molestation.
Yes, I think mauna no kanang so one is wala kay ta na edukar kung unsa gyud ang kanang na anything to do with that. Even parents have a hard time telling or educating their kids that you should not allow anyone to touch you there. You should not, and things like that. And I think that's part of our being overly conservative. Now, but I do agree, sir, no, nga, kanang when we talk about it, there should still be that sense of respect and privacy, and ang pagka-conservative nato siguro as Pinoy nga dili nga yaga-yaga na lang. That's not also our point, no? Our point really is that there's so many stories about vaginas or things that happen to women because they have a vagina. And sometimes we separate the two. We talk about the vagina, but we forget that they are attached to women. They're part of women, And so we talk about it like it's just some sort of a thing, a possession, and that some men think that they have power over it, or that they, kanang mga bana nga musulti nga ako ana. It's like nga no good, no? Kung wala pa na nabalhin nimo, dili na imuha. Okay? And so I think it's also nice to hear the different reactions, the different concerns, and how you feel about it. And again, maunang ang nakanindot is it starts a conversation. And when we have conversations, we are able to exchange ideas, we are able to exchange our feelings, and then later on, we are able to identify the different problems and concerns that we have as a people, and hopefully, we would be able to offer solutions.
Thank you very much, Ms. Sarah. And now it's your time to ask your questions for our panelists. Murag naglami atong conversation, but we still have more questions to address. So mga kauban, Open Line News Media Forum will be back for our questions from the media after these short reminders.
Protect yourself and your family, and be certain with your future with Fidelity Life. It has been a long-time dedicated partner of IMG that provides life insurance benefit exclusively to its members to meet their risk protection needs. In partnership with Everest Memorial Services, Fidelity Life is also providing its members with free access to 24/7 Memorial Concierge services. With the consent of the beneficiary, Fidelity Life shall apply the insurance benefit to cover the expenses for the memorial services of the deceased member. At Fidelity Life, the care of our members and their families is our first and most important business. Be life confident by protecting your loved ones and securing your future.
Someday, you will get older, slower, grayer, but also wiser, calmer, and freer than ever. At 𝗙𝗲𝗄𝘀, we help you prepare for those years ahead, so you can keep doing what you love with the people that matter the most. Prepare for your future today. International Health Group, the first name in healthcare.
Before IMG,
I was a civil engineer.
Accountant. I was a plain housewife.
Before IMG, I used to be a doctor.
I was a maintenance crew.
factoring operator.
I'm a housewife.
I was an accounting clerk.
I am a medical doctor.
I am an engineer.
Before IMG, I used to be a teacher.
I was a government employee.
A production worker.
I am a bank employee.
Before IMG, I was an admin staff.
I was a seaman.
A design engineer. I was a deli manager.
I was a telecom engineer.
Before IMG, I was quality director.
I used to be a doctor.
Production operator.
An industrial engineer.
IT home-based freelancer.
Before IMG, I was a manufacturing specialist.
I was an exporter. Admin officer.
I was a florist.
Before IMG, I was a service crew.
I'm great.
I am great.
I am
G.
I am great. IMG.
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 I am great.
I am.
MG.
I am great.
I am great.
I am great.
Oh, mga kauban, we are back to this Open Line News Video Forum. And before we open the floor for questions, it's okay, Sir Eric, we are going to just read an excerpt from TVM 2024. It is actually the introduction. So just to give you an idea of how it's going to be like, but there will be different kinds of stories from women and girls from all walks of life.
I bet you're worried.
We were worried.
We were worried about vaginas.
We were worried about what we think of vaginas and even more worried that we don't think about them. We were worried about our own vaginas. They needed a context of other vaginas, a community, a culture of vaginas. There's so much darkness and secrecy surrounding them, like the Bermuda Triangle. Nobody ever reports back from there.
In the first place, it's not so easy to even find your vagina. Women go weeks, months, sometimes years without looking at it. A high-powered businesswoman was interviewed, and she said she was too busy. She didn't have the time. Looking at your vagina, she said, is a full day's work. You have to get down there on your back in front of a mirror that's standing on its own, full length preferred. You've got to get into the perfect position with the perfect light, which then is shadowed somehow by the mirror and the angle you're at. You get all twisted up. You're arching your head up, killing your back. You're exhausted by then. She said she didn't have the time for that. She was busy.
So there were vagina interviews, which became Vagina Monologues. Over 200 women were interviewed. Older women, young women, married women, lesbians, single women, college professors, actors, corporate professionals, sex workers, African American women, Asian American women, Hispanic women, Native American women, Caucasian women, Jewish women. Okay. At first, women were reluctant to talk. They were a little shy. But once they got going, you couldn't stop them.
women secretly love to talk about their vaginas. They get very excited, mainly because no one's ever asked them before.
Let's just start with the word vagina. Sounds like an infection at best, maybe a medical instrument. Hurry, nurse, bring me the vagina. Vagina, vagina. It doesn't matter how many times you say it, it just doesn't sound like a word you'd like to say. If you use it during sex, trying to be politically correct. Oh, darling, could you please stroke my vagina? You killed the act right there.
We were worried about vaginas, what we call them and don't call them.
In Great Neck, they call it a pussycat. A woman there said that her mother used to tell her, "Don't wear panties underneath your pajamas, dear. You need to air out your pussycat."
In Westchester, they call it a pookie.
In New Jersey, a twat.
There's powder box, a poochie, a poopy, a peepee, a poopaloo, a punani, a pal, and a peach.
Toady, Didi, Nishi, Dignity, Monkey Box.
Coochie Snorcher, Cooter, Labe.
Gladys Siegelman.
Va, Wee Wee, Horsebutt, Nappy Dugout.
Mongo, Mookie, a pajama. Fanny Boo, Marshmallow.
A ghoulie, Possible, Tamale, Tortita, Connie.
A Mimi in Miami.
A Splitnish in Philadelphia.
And a Shmendi in the Bronx.
We were worried about vaginas.
All right, thank you very much. So catch the show on Sunday. And now we're opening the floor for questions from our friends from the media.
Una lang ko. Duha ka question akong paabot kang Colonel Pelare. Una, sir, aware ka sa netabo kagahapon, sir, no? Katong sa ka LGBTQ. Kung mo reklamo ang server, sir, nga to sa PNP, unsay kaso nga possible drug group nga monitor diri sa Central Visa transshipment, pero dunay mga local boys nga.
I would have want to answer the first question, but I don't have the facts of that case, and I'm totally what I have is hearsay. No, I only read it in the social media, so I may not be able to accurately determine what happened. So di ko ka istoryag unsay possible nga kaso.
Pero katong gipatindog siya og 2 hours or almost 2 hours kay nasuko siya kay gingnan sa sir. Unsay possible nga atubangon nga kaso niya, sir?
Again, I cannot say because wata kay baw kung was it voluntary nga nitindog or because the katong subject person or the person is not an employer, so he doesn't have the authority to require somebody to stand. No, so probably we should also consider basin og ning voluntarily tindog pod ang lalaki. No, again, it's very hard for me to make an assessment because I don't have personal knowledge about what happened. No. Probably if mo complain tong any party would complain, then that's the time that we'll conduct the investigation. As of now, I cannot think, honestly, of any crime that has been committed by any party at nga incident. So, I'm really sorry. No? But as to the second question, the second question was about groups, no? Yes, in Cebu, there have been a lot of groups that have already been dismantled by Police Regional Office 7 and PDEA. No, makita man ninyo sa history nato from a very highly affected region in illegal drugs, nagkagamay ang affectation. No? That is because the organized groups that we have confronted in the past were effectively dismantled. Karon naagyapoy mga semblance of drug syndicates but not as organized, no? So mao na lang nay atong gitagsa-tagsa karon og dismantle o gitagsa-tagsa og neutralize in accord with law, in accord with procedures. No, we are very empathic on making sure that our police operatives on the ground nagfollow gyud og procedure, no, para wala na issue on human rights or in violation of the Constitution, because in the past that has always been the criticism in the drug war that we had, no. So if you can remember, ang magbalik-balik og istorya ang Police Regional Office 7 that we will always adhere to the police operational procedure in the conduct of police operations. Meaning to say, kung unsay nakabutang sa manual, that should be the one to be followed in order to reduce the possibility that rights will be violated along the process.
Next question, please.
Good morning, everyone. I have two questions from Sir Edward and Sarah. Palarong Pambansa is done and Olympic is going 2024. For athletes nga naay ability and skills, even the capability to win, but struggles in financial support, especially those who have come from places that experience poverty or mountainous areas, what you have mentioned, sir, what are there programs that help support these athletes?
Your question is very, a very purposeful and meaningful. Just for the information of the body, the national athletes, mean to say the top athletes of the Philippines, we only have 2,000. Of the 2,000, 80 to 90% are from the public school or underprivileged. Example, baseball. I actually thought baseball, Calvin, is para social. Mga dato ray pwede mo duwa. When I asked the head of baseball, the president and the secgen and the head coach, oh, how many percent of the baseball player, national team baseball player are from the province and underprivileged and from the public school? He said 100%. So in answer to your question is, this t-shirt, if you look at the back, sports leaders, grassroots volunteer. We are employing thousands of grassroots leaders all over the country. I've been to places I've never been before, to Gigarao, Kidapawan. I even forget all of those places. But those are the rich sources of national athletes. Example, of course, the famous 𝗍𝗲𝗍. Where did 𝗍𝗲𝗍 come from? Farthest south, Zamboanga. Zamboanga City? No. She lives 2 hours away from Zamboanga. We went to her place. And I really was curious, where do these national athletes that can reach the Olympics come from? Her place is so murag kareta, murag pasil. So 90%, to answer your question, 90% underprivileged are in sports. Most of them for one purpose. Guess what? Yep, you're so bright. Scholarship. Ikaw tingay sa Joy. That's their purpose. They love sports, but one of their main purpose is athletic scholarship, because that's their only way to finish college, through sports. So that's the transformational side of sports. It is both educational and a transformational tool for the underprivileged. That's our mantra for we call it a social crusade. Our National Grassroots Initiative is not about sports. It's about a crusade to uplift the lives of underprivileged. And it's becoming a very meaningful crusade because we are getting a lot of volunteers. Yes, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's okay. For me, Sarah, in regards with the vaginal monologue theater, is it for free or not? And how can we watch it if we want to?
Okay, so the Vagina Monologues, we have the performance on Sunday. That's 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the evening at the 𝗍𝗲𝗄𝗆 Center, Cebu. So tickets are sold, and naglisod ko ka ng, we have our tickets online. And so if you look at our page, that's TVM Cebu or 𝗡𝗲𝗄𝘀 Philippines Incorporated on our pages, you would see the link to our tickets. However, as I have mentioned to Andy, we are actually inviting our friends from the media to join us on Sunday. So maybe after this, we can get your contacts and so that we can send the invite to you. Kana siya. Thank you.
Last question, Miss. So not all people can access or have the knowledge to the existence of your advocacy. So my question is, how do you plan to educate and to spread awareness and advocacy of the Vagina Monologue, especially to places that have their problems in accessing media?
Okay, so it's not just the Vagina Monologues that we have done as a theater company. So how do we spread awareness? One day at a time, one step at a time. Whatever little thing that we can do, we do. So for us, it's theater. And the power of theater is that it is an experience that can be brought to wherever we want. However, it doesn't have the, the virality or the broadness of reach like the TV or even radio. If I just go outside of the Vagina Monologues and more on our advocacy of women empowerment and then ending violence and all sorts, human trafficking and kana siyang lain-lain nga issues. In the 10 years that we have existed as 𝗡𝗲𝗄𝘀 Philippines, we have done training and workshops and programs that would go to the provinces and use theater as a tool to educate. So for example, kaning issue, I think July 30 also, Andy and everyone else, you know that it's the World Day Against Trafficking in persons. So I think 5 or 6 years ago, we did a campaign to end trafficking in persons. So one of the things that we've actually done was to train this group of children. We call them children, although they were teenagers. We taught them theater. And then the theater material that we have rehearsed with them, they actually performed in various barangays. And that's what they use to educate people about human trafficking. And we've done that as well in like program for abused and exploited children. So we're using theater as a tool to communicate to our sa atong grassroots, sa atong mga barangay, sa lain-lain nga areas, aron mas makasabot sila kung unsa man yun nga issue. The thing with theater, because it's there, it's live. And the good thing is after a performance, we can have a discussion. It's like mura siyag open forum na mangutana ang mga tao, and the people who are experts on the subject are able to answer as well. So siguro dili namo madbit-bit ang the Vagina Monologues sa lain-lain nga areas nganhi sa Cebu. However, we are able to use theater and different materials to spread the message that we would like to share to the world. Kana siya. O ginagmay lang, because even if, let's say, we'd like to open the theater to as many people as possible, but venue alone, we are limited already.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you all.
Thank you. Next question, please.
Good morning, that's Mae Padilla.
To Sir Pelare, sir. Sir, say pamaagi ani if ever natay mamonitor Makpun sa mag-operate diretso or makig-coordinate sa pagkor una regarding ana, sir.
Thank you, Des. The lead agency on this front, no, kay Pogo is PAGCOR. So, they will be the one to prosecute. So, sila po'y mahibalo sa mga pieces of evidence nga kinahanglanon. Ang inyong police and probably NBI and other law enforcement agencies will be just there to assist. Of course, we help in the intelligence monitoring. For example, we receive information, we process it, then we coordinate with PAGCOR for the appropriate action.
Hello. Good morning. I'm Gerard from Sansor, Cebu. I have two questions lang po. One is addressed to Mr. Pelare. Regarding the protest or rally yesterday, there were information regarding the moment that the rally stopped by the front of the PRO regional office, the police personnel released or naggawa silang speaker and played loud music while the rally was ongoing. Is there any specific reason behind this action?
The rallies have always been using Police Regional Office 7 as their venue in their protests and rallies. But the issues that they are coming up with are not in any way related to peace and security. That's one, no? Second, when there are occasions such as SONA and other national events, it is our practice in Police Regional Office 7 to celebrate also. So that is one of the ways wherein we can show our support to the State of the Nation address of the President.
Just an additional po. So, what is your reaction naman po with regards sa mga claims like they had these banners of the number of people who were arrested, or they said that or they claimed that were unjustly arrested by police officers? What is your reaction on this po?
We should understand that the people are arrested when there are warrants of arrest issued against them, meaning to say it already went through the judicial branch of government, which are the courts. So nanay warrants of arrest. The police are only implementers of the warrant, meaning to say gitagaan rami og warrants of arrest sa court to implement it or to arrest somebody for the possible commission of a crime. So your police has no way of determining whether or not unsay basis adto. Basta kay na ay warrants of arrest, our duty is to serve the warrant of arrest. So what happened there is that there is already a case filed against a person in the court, and during that process, ang tawo nga gipailan og kaso is given the opportunity to works. For example, naitaw nga gifailan og kaso, ang buhaton sa piskalya is for the prosecutor to get the side of that person in a form of counter affidavit. Then, in the assessment of the prosecutor's office, iyang makita nga na ay probable cause or in karon lahi na ang level or quantum of proof. We call it reasonable certainty of conviction. Iyaan na nang i-forward ngadto sa court. During this time, wala pa'y appeal ang police. No? When the court assess it, the court will issue the warrant of arrest. And of course, the PNP, being one of the law enforcement agencies, sila mo ay mo serve sa warrant. So to say the arrest is just or unjust is speculative. Meaning to say walay basis. Kay ang police, igo raman siyang ning serve sa warrant of arrest. That is a matter that we should understand.
Thank you, Sir Pelare. One last question for Ms.
and white nga kana ang action is sexual exploitation, and we don't look into like the reasons behind them or what is the root cause of this issue, and then maglisod gyud tag move forward.
Thank you po.
Good morning, everyone. Glendale Rosal, sports writer of CDN. This is for Sir Edward. Sir, good morning. Sir, it was pretty obvious that dance sport was the saving grace of Central Visayas during Palarong Pambansa, considering 9 gold medals gikan dito, and maybe 6 gold medals gikan sa atong archery. So before, you were part of the unified training program sa Region 7 sa kuan under Cebu City Sports Commission. So unsa kahay kuan sir tan-aw nimo sir kung wala pay dance sport sa Palarong Pambansa, and considering ang Negros Island mubuwag na sa Central Visayas, they will form their own regional athletic association. So unsay solution nato sir nga murag inevitable na gyud nga moubos ta sa ranking sa next Palarong Pambansa? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dale. That's all? That will take me an hour to answer. Joke lang, Ma'am Andrea. In fairness naman, we could have done better. But remember, of course, we were dependent on track oval. We were not able to transition. We were just so used to a track oval. We're so used to driving a Mercedes, we didn't know how to drive a multi-cab. We forgot how to drive a multi-cab. So our athletes were depleted with a training facility, so we didn't fare that well with athletics and swimming. Swimming, I don't know, asa man sad, we can tweak, go to the Pier 1 or 2, lisod sa kaya, di ba? So that's but hopefully the next Palaro we have 1 year to catch up. So ang athletics, ang swimming, which are medal-rich sports, no? But one silver lining is gymnastics, Dale. Gymnastics, this year we had 1 gold and 8 silver. Our sports leaders and dedicated coaches in gymnastics there in Labangon hopefully will deliver 6 gold medals next year, hopefully. So that 6 gold medal plus athletics plus archery plus dance sport mo balik ta sa where we belong, we were hoping number 3. Okay, we were never number 3. We're always number 4 or 5. So Cebu, I think we were number 7 ba to? Or 6 or 7, I forgot. 8, okay. 8, 9 out of 13 dance sport ang 9, no? But next year, we hope to improve Cebu City's ranking from number 8 to number 4. Fearless forecast. Now, I'd like to react. Thank you. Did I answer your question? Okay na? Ma'am Sarah, I'd like to react a bit of your,
Yes, sir.
Being deeply involved with DepEd for 25 years, I've realized, I even say this to the DepEd, don't contain your students in the 4 walls of your classroom. Of course, it's also a challenge to bring the kids out of school. It's a challenge for DepEd teachers also, in town, no? But that's how to expose them to experiential education. They lack the experiential education. They're always taught knowledge. I read just last night, education is not about gaining knowledge. It's about teaching the kids how to think critically. No? So bringing the kids out of the 4 walls of their classroom will solve the shyness. Murag, I mentioned this also to DepEd. Murag iro gitangkal compared iro nasa out roaming around the street. Dili mauwawod ang iro nga naglakaw-lakaw sa daan, but ang iro gatangkal No, 'di ba? So that I mean sharing with you that hope maybe that may become one of your advocacy. Our kids in Asia is so shy when you introduce them to an adult. A Western or European kid, they converse at 8 years old. They can converse directly with an adult. Why ikog-ikog? They develop the virtue of assertiveness, not arrogance, assertiveness. So we need to tweak a bit the way our public school system is teaching education.
Thank you, Kaaya, Sir Edward. Before we continue that discussion, we'd like to entertain also 2 more questions from our friends from the media. Please go ahead, John.
Hi, Sir Edward. John Kimbote from GMA 𝗍𝗲𝗄𝗍. Sir, regarding sa comprehensive sports program nga giplano sa Cebu City, your thoughts on that? Naabay plan ang Philippine Sports Commission or ikaw mismo nga mo appeal sa ilang giplano nga comprehensive sports katong training or program. Onya, your thoughts, Sir Edward, regarding sa pag-double sa city or at least double sa budget sa Cebu City Sports Commission?
Cebu City is double.
Double sa budget.
Okay. I'll address first, Jana, the first question. It's proud to say this. The grassroots program of Cebu City is now the template for the National Grassroots Initiative. No? So we hope to discover through this initiative more Hedelindias. Not just one Hedelindias, not just one Olympic medal, but probably 50 more Hedelindias. So expect, hopefully, in 10 years, we will have more Olympic gold medals. And that is the National Grassroots Initiative. And your second question is, by the way, the thing, I'll be controversial about this. What we do is so wrong in PSC. If we find a good athlete, we extract that athlete and bring them to Manila and make them become a national athlete. This is now just letting you know that I'm a lonely voice in PSC advocating for regionalizing and decentralizing the training of national athletes, sending them back to their natural habitat. We should not be extracting them away from their family, from their parents, from their native tongue. We should send them back. And that's what happened with weightlifting. We were able to produce 2 Olympians because of that program. The national training is in Cebu. The national athletes are in Cebu being trained. So they create a community. Instead of taking them away from their community, the community will die. That's what happened with baseball and softball. We took out the Bacaresas because they were so good. We brought them to Manila, and baseball and softball died in Cebu. So hope you will help me, Sir Manny, ba na? Hi, Sir Manny. I hope you'll help me, a lonely voice in PSC, to lobby this, is it controversial? It's an advocacy of sending the national back. By the way, 80 to 90% of the national athletes are from the province, and I don't understand why we bring them to Manila. I can't understand that. So your second question is budget. I think you should ask 𝗍𝗶𝗄𝗆.
No, your thoughts lang, Sir Edward, like, would it, nice ba ni siyang move sa city to improve or like sa support sa athletes? Or
this is my 2 cents advice. No? When people say Palaro, Batang Pinoy, that's a grassroots program. It's not a program. It's an event. The program is what happens before the event. That's the program. So, I hope the city will keep up, somebody said, a conscious effort Someone said that. That's a very nice operating phrase. Conscious effort to keep a balance between event and program. Because if we have all events, we are like a pick-up boys. Na make-up rata. Na make-up rajuta. Like Manila. Oh, no, you know. Anyway, that's too controversial. Like UAAP and it's so also too controversial. Sige lang, associations from Manila go around the Philippines looking at the events and pick up the best. That's what you call pick up boys or pick up girls. So what happens before that is the important thing, the program that you create to produce the athletes. Right now, there is no accredited coach in public school. Public school are the farm of national athletes. That's where all the national athletes, 80%, come from. And we don't have an accredited coach. It's not the fault of DepEd. It's simply because DepEd doesn't have a plantilla for a coach. So they cannot hire a coach. They can only hire a teacher. And who is teaching our future national athletes? An English teacher, a Filipino teacher, and a math teacher. So that is the predicament. That's where PRISA comes in. PRISA is a private school of 400 members. We are asking them to become, this is where it is, to become volunteer sports leaders and send their coaches and their volunteer athletes to the public school and teach them the right basic. There are so many athletes in the public school who could have reached the Olympics, but their basic was not wrong. Sayop. Murag, badyaw, ilang swimming, ana. Nya, tudloan ni mo, ana, lisod kayo, kay ana na mas langoy og ana. Di ba? So, it's just an example. Very difficult to change what they learned from childhood. Thank you, Jan.
Thank you. Queenie.
Good morning, Queen from MyTV Cebu. My question is for Sir Pelare. Sir, you're talking about the 5 licensed POGOs operating the past years. Asa ni particularly ng area sa Central Visayas, sir?
From what I recall, it's distributed in Lapu-Lapu, Cebu City, and Mandaue.
Cebu City. Okay. Sir, karon nga, we are encouraging the public to connect with PRO7 if ever they have any leads with regards to POGOs. Can you please explain to us further, unsa jud ning mga POGOs, what games ang under ani, especially nga sikat kayo karon ng online gambling, especially scatter?
Yeah, these are, POGO stands for Philippine Gaming Operations, no? These are gambling entities that are usually catering clients abroad, no? But the problem with this, it has evolved into an entity which caters other illegal activities such as prostitution, extortion, and other crimes. No, originally POGOs are licensed, actually, but what it has become in the past years made it very ripe topic for discussion in peace and security because of those illegal activities that are conducted along with the legal activities. Now that there is a specific pronouncement that POGOs will be banned, so dili na siya pwede i-license whatsoever. What we can expect from this pronouncement is that POGO operators might resort to some other activities that will circumvent the instruction or the pronouncement of the president. So, diri na ta mag-focus so that we can still prevent or monitor those operators who will come up with a strategy para to further or to continue their operations which are now declared illegal.
Follow-up lang, sir. How do we heighten our monitoring system, especially that there's a possibility nga there are other POGOs fronting as BPO companies? Yeah, knowing that Cebu has a lot of BPO companies.
Yeah, we have an in-place monitoring system, no, to determine existence of Pogo and other related activities, no? You could talk about human intelligence, or you could about technological advancement that we are adopting, no? So these are already established in coordination with PAGCOR, NBI, and other law enforcement agencies. But most of the information that we acquire are actually coming from community members nga na-hire pod ni ani. So we are very much reliant on information coming from common citizens nga na ay knowledge aning pag-operate sa Pogo. No, this is very crucial now because some people might be employed on these entities, and there is now an instruction or a pronouncement that this has become illegal. So it has now become incumbent upon them, or their duty, to report it to the police. And once we have that information, kami na mo process ug unsaon nga makakandak tag police operation.
Last na lang, sir. Do we plan on giving like incentives or added security to those whistleblowers nga possible community gikan sa mga Pogo hubs nga moduol sa inyong opisina?
As of now, we do not have that program, no, as to Pogo. As far as the PNP is concerned, we always get information out of people who love their country and are giving in information because they don't want evil to perpetuate, no? So we will adopt the same strategy. We know Cebuanos do not like illegal activities, most of us, no? So we again call on community members to be with the government on this fight against Pogo, which has obviously destroyed a lot of lives and families already.
Thank you, sir.
So, good morning, sir. I'm Arabella Luis Luzon from Sunstar Cebu, sir. So, nabatay mga hotline na pwede matawagan if ever kaning lugaran na ipogo nga ga-operate, sir?
Yes, all police stations or police units have their own hotlines, no? It's just that I cannot memorize them all now. We will give it to MyTV probably just to disseminate these contact numbers. And all police stations have social media accounts. So you can easily reach them through these accounts, or if you are really that patriotic, you can visit police stations to report these illegal activities.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, sir. This is Erica from DYLA. This question for Sir Pelare. Sir, you've mentioned that the police are making sure that students or pupils are safe, especially on the opening of the classes and throughout the whole school year. And as a student also and as citizens of our country, are there security measures that police are doing also make sure there's a safety mobile like patrolling or anything, sir?
The security landscape of Central Visayas is very favorable, no? Makita ninyo, in Cebu, for example, every block there are police officers stationed to respond to emergencies. In fact, the numbers will tell us that we have a very safe and secured environment, no? There is an 8% decrease in occurrence of crimes, although there are still crimes that are happening, but these are responded to immediately when they are reported, no? So what we can do in the police is to heighten police presence. It's different when we say police presence and police visibility. We are so used of hearing police visibility, but we have elevated it into police presence because we want that the police in the ground are active and able to respond to emergencies. Not only they are visible, but they should be present. So in Cebu City, for example, or in the highly urbanized cities in Central Visayas, you could easily spot police officers walking or stationed in places of convergence and other areas of concern. You just need to approach them, and they are instructed specifically to always cater and accommodate any type of assistance. Bisan gani na ay irong buang ang police mo respond and any other emergencies, because that is our job.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning, Eliza from MyTV. This is a question for Ms. Jimenez. Ma'am, by the way, thank you so much for being here. And my question, because it's my first time seeing an Olympian judge. Yes, I'm a fan. Can you tell us realistically what it's like as a sportswoman to really pursue a career in your sport, ma'am? What is the good and the bad? What did you sacrifice in order to get into the Olympics, ma'am?
Thank you for that question. Murag taas-taas ni akong answer. So, labuan ako ang 1 hour ni Sir, ni Com Ed. Where do I start? So, where do I begin? So, asa man ha, as a woman in sports, nindot na magkaroon kay nanay mga gender koan ba. We're very aware about it na. But before, siguro, pag-start, we receive a lot of discouragements good for women to be in sports, especially sa running, no? But if you focus more on how the sports can help you or transform you, murag inana ba? What's your goal into coming into sports? Like knowing your why nag-start ka ani ba? Like because that will be your kanang that will guide you to where you want to be, like unsay imong gusto nga finish line in your life, so sa imong kinabuhi. So I started just using sport as a tool to finish my studies. So mora na siya. I focused on balancing my athletic scholarship and performing well on my scholar, making sure wala ko yung hagbong because I'm bringing the name of the school, and then I don't want to be mapart sa uban nga mga varsity, mga inana. So I have to make sure na maka-payback pod ko sa school. So it's more on the athlete side gyud nga unsa gyud ang goal pod sa athlete ba, given the opportunity to study for free, and then after achieving your goal nga makahuman ka studies with the help of the sport, unsa may next, like it's more on the continuous updating on your goals. Kung diha ra ba, okay, human akong eskwela, then what would be next for sa ako, what would be next for Mary Joy? So daghan kayo, like running has opened a lot of doors for me, not only just for finishing my studies, but also helping my helping my siblings to finish their studies also. And then kung asa ko karon, like achieving my ultimate goal to be an Olympian representing the country, but dili na siya overnight success ra ba. So same with all other athletes, we started with the first step good, like competing, representing your school, the next representing the city, the region, the country, and then it's more on knowing unsa gid imuhang gusto nga finish line for you. Just the same, running a marathon, it will be a long and bumpy road, dili tanan ba flat road gyud, flat course. There will be uphills, downhills, so it's daghan jud, daghan turnarounds, dili permi daog ka sa sports. It's more on how you manage when kanang ma-injury ka, you don't have support system, wa kay resources, and unsaon nimo pag-move forward gihapon with your goals ba. So magsugod gyud na sa athlete. The support system will come eventually on how you bring yourself good as an athlete ba. Diha gid ko nagsugod, like I just let my running do the talking and the support will come. So wala ko nagsugod nga dili ko makaabot ani kay wala ko ani nga resources. For me, staying in Barangay Mountain in Cebu, it would took me hours to travel to sports center just to run in the track oval, as what Sir Com Ed was saying a while ago. So wala ko ana kanang pliti para lang moari sa sports center just to train, to prepare me to run for a track oval, because before being a marathon or a long distance runner, I was a sprinter. So I was sprinter until third year of college before I shifted to long distance running. So more on my life, ara gid ko dapat sa track and field. But that resources wala na dito sa guba. So moto akong giingon pod ni Sir Ed, I used to run sa karsada, sa yuta. So more on uphills, yuta, wala palalagsaan ra kayo na nga makaran ko sa track oval before. But I think it's a good advantage also nga naka-build gyud sa ako ba nga para gid ko sad sa long distance running. So it's more on knowing your capabilities, dili nimo i-limit imong self as an athlete. What would be next after achieving a certain goal? Like ninduta man day nga ma-name ka as the fastest runner in the country. But don't limit there ba. I want to represent the country pod aning mga dagko-dagko na event. But how knowing you know your goal, but how can I go there? How can I get there? So if without my kuansad, i-build gid nimo as an athlete, the character, the attitude. Kay kung wala ko ani, siguro ko'y support system pod on how I get there to the Olympics. So, if most of here, na diri mga sports writer before, nakabalog na sila on my journey.
You know, Joy, your authenticity is such an inspiration. Quick lang, no? When I was in Dubai, beside me was a Kenyan. So I asked the Kenyan, why are Kenyans Olympic medalists? Her answer was, because they're way up in the highlands in a dirt oval practicing. I said, why? Because it's their way out of poverty. And they are fast runners literally because they have to run faster than the lions and the tigers. That's true, huh? Oh, Kenya. So after Dubai, when I was still at the arrival, getting my bag, I called this little girl. I said, Joy, taga-asa man ka? Because I wanted to match the natural habitat theory. She said, taga-guba. Oh, unya, unsa experience mo guba? She said, ako, kung tawgon ko sa kumama palit og ice, dagan jud ko. Unya, ang sari-sari store nga nay ice, 30 minutes away. That's the natural habitat that forms a great athlete. So when I met her 1 week after arriving from Dubai, what did we do? We did a grassroots program.
Wow.
So
Mona, don't send our athletes to NCR.
Don't send her. And we're so proud of Joy. Now she's the sports leader of Mandaue. So, wow, you're such an inspiration.
All right, it has been a very productive session for... Oh, Napade, sorry. One last question. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, I'm June Miguelian of Sports Tabay. Okay, you have mentioned, sir, you have mentioned that weightlifting is a gold medal potential. In fact, for the Cebuanos and in Filipinos in general, when it comes to international competitions. No? But why is it that it was not included in the Palarong Pambansa?
Nice question. It was. But I forgot the timeline, Sir Jun, no? There was a time that Palaro stopped, and when it reopened, I forgot when. When it reopened, Palaro reopened, what na appeal? Onya, everybody thinks, even myself, thought everything is automatic in Palaro. No, you have to work for it. So now, hopefully next year or next year, personally, we will lobby the weightlifting to be in Palaro, and hopefully.
Okay, way back in 1994, the oval met the standard size of Olympic, no? But 30 years later, it failed when it was resurfaced. In your own opinion, who are to be blamed in the first place?
No comment. Na ana lang, Sir Jun. Ayan lang ninyo isuwat eh. It's like this, The oval is within international technical standard. It's the line that was not. So there is still disagreement if the line is technically, there's a term for that, technically adheres to the standard or not. There is still, even if there is a third surveyor already saying it's not, still the other side, we still have to hear both sides na lang para fair, no? The other side say it is within standards. So the other side, that is the contractor. Unsa to? Padakay mo tingog, we? So, tubaga. Wala. So, Sir John Miguelin. So, that's where it is now. We have to hear both sides na lang para fair. And I think you also has to hear, we have to hear the side of Jeanette Obiena, the mother of the famous E.J. Obiena. She's the consultant of Palaro. She said she submitted the technical drawings to the contractor February or April, or I forgot when, June. So the contractor has to reply what was done. So and I'm not privy to the specs of the bid. If who lines the oval? Is it somebody else? Is the contractor just doing the rubber and somebody else will do the line? So it's a little bit complicated, and let's just listen to both sides and and not blame na lang. Let's decide how to move forward para the story ends there.
Anyway, open line is open to the other parties involved. So katong mga members sa contractor, to Mrs. Obiena, obliged me alang sa inyong habig. Hopefully, we can have another discussion to delve into the details with regards to the oval. But there you have it, mga kauban. Daghan kayong salamat for joining us in this Tuesday's episode of Open Line News Media Forum. It has indeed been a morning filled with education, awareness, inspiration. So tanaw gid mo open line because knowledge is power. So di pa tama na milit atong hatagan og higayon ang ato ang mga panelists nga mohatag sa ilang mga closing statements alang sa tanan natong mga viewers. Let's start this time with Miss Sarah.
Okay, so I'd like to take this opportunity to invite everyone to watch the Vagina Monologues on Sunday, and that's at 3 o'clock in the afternoon and 7 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening of July 28 at the Seda Ayala Center, Cebu. Andy, I would like to probably make mention of the performers that we will have on Sunday. Ako lang ning basahon. In fact, everyone, I think many of you know that Andy actually is part of the cast. And I'd like to mention also that joining the cast are Apple Abarquez, Keith Aninion, Cassandra Lomax Rodriguez, Dion Therese Maningo, Judy Crisel Ralios, Liana San Diego, Lord Lawrence Latonio, Mikey Amagsila, the one who performed with us earlier today, Ray Basiga, Regina Binueza, Sasha Isabel Chong, Shanice K. Suarez, and Zaira D. Those are performers for the matinee. And then for the gala or the evening performance, we have Alea Lim, Andy Patanya, Matthew, Anya Lim, Charlene Vierlouve, Elaine Bathan, Gingging Navarro Laude, Jet Cantal Bacaltos, Malu Inocando Tabar, Maki Gingoyon, Maria Lourdes, Marini Esguerra, Michelle Palmares, Pia Mercado, Sherry Ibanez, Stephanie Tiro Sitoy, Victoria Leslie Ingram, and Yvette Intig. So we'd like to invite everyone again and hope to see you on Sunday.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah. Sir Pelare.
Police Brigadier General Anthony Aberin extends his regards to everyone and his thanks to Open Line for always inviting us to share some important information regarding peace and security. Again, we emphasize that peace and security is a joint endeavor between the police and the community. So please help us do your duty, report crimes.
Thank you very much, Sir Pelare. Ma'am Tabal?
Again, thank you for having me. So I would like to share lang some of the events. Pwede mo po? Yes, ongoing ang 17th WCAF World Championship in Mandaue City. So it's a World Championship until on the 27th. We will be launching the first Mandaue City Centralized Grassroots Sports Development Program in Mandaue. It will be on August 3 and 4. And then it will be, hopefully, a sustainable program in Mandaue City, which will gonna scout and develop young kids in Mandaue City. So we're gonna start with the 12 and under. And then we're gonna launch 8 sports for this year. And hopefully to add more sports every year annually. So, and then we also have monthly boxing sa plaza in Mandaue City. That will be that's an amateur boxing competition with the help of our city mayor. So daghan-daghan na gid mi og mga inana programa nga ingon pa ni Sir Ed, it should be the program before the event. So we're gonna start with this, and then I thank you for having me here in this forum. Kaya at least naka-share sad ko. And thank you, Sir ComEd and everyone.
Just to reiterate, sports should be seen as an educational and transformational tool. It is not something that because you just want to win a medal. It's not. The medal should always be just a bonus. It should always be seen as a transformational tool, an educational tool, even an economic driver. No? So it drives the economy of a city, LGU up. So last but not the least, being an educational and transformational tool, it has an effect on drug dependence. Drug dependence are actually, in my personal 25 years of experience, drug dependents are actually very intelligent. The only problem is they don't know where to vent their intelligence. Kanang mga bugoy, they have 2 magic combination that can propel them all the way up to the highest level of athleticism, because they have the energy and the intelligence and the street smartedness. Unfortunately, if we don't give them and provide them sports or other positive activity, asas lang mo adto droga, because they just cannot control they just don't know where to vent their energy and intelligence. So that is where sports should be seen as a tool for as a transformational experience tool. Thank you very much.
Exactly. Let's give a big hand to all of our panelists. Dagan kayong salamat, our jam-packed nga members of Friends from the Media, for joining us live this Tuesday morning. Kaninyong tanan mga kauban for watching us and staying tuned to MyTV Cebu social media channels. You can catch us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Daghang kayong salamat for following and for the engagement. Once again, daghang salamat to our partners, International Marketing Group, Manila Bankers Assurance, Kaiser International Health Group Incorporated, Kaiser Medical Center, and De Los Reyes Optical. This has been Andrea Patania Matthew.
And Eric Espina.
See you all next Tuesday, mga kauban!